Hello, everyone, and welcome to the ISA Instagram live stream. We are just about to get Ryan Williams in the house. Let's send him an invite in just a moment's time. Anyway, guys, feel free to drop some questions in the comments section. This is going to be awesome today. I'm just going to pin this post quickly as well, and then we'll get Ryan in the house. Let's just send him an invite. It's 6 a.m. in the morning where Ryan is, so I feel sorry for him, but this is going to be an epic interview for sure. If anyone missed the Jordan Clark one, that was also epic. We did that last week. Ryan is just posting an Instagram story as well, so he might be a minute. In the meantime, though, guys, if anyone wants any specific questions, drop them in the comment section. I'm going to do my best to read through them all and obviously ask Ryan whatever I can. But I won't be able to get through them all, so make them spicy questions, all right, guys? Make sure they're good questions, and I will do my best to pick them out, of course. Still waiting on Ryan to come through. He should be about 1 more minute. We got Jordan Clark in the house as well. Good to see Jordan Clark in the house. We were live with Jordan literally this time last week. So yeah, it's 6 a.m. in the morning for Ryan right now. I think that's absolutely crazy. I feel so bad getting him up this early, but he is awake. I have spoke to him, and he will be live in just a moment's time. Let's just answer a couple of your questions first. Dennis131 says, is Worlds happening? Guys, obviously we have got many priorities in life right now, and one of them is to make sure the world is in a good place before we worry about ISA World Final. But of course, we go. Let's bring the legend in himself, Mr. Ryan Williams. I don't really feel like he needs an introduction, but I'll introduce him anyway if anyone is aware. Good morning, Ryan.
Morning.
6 a.m., eh? That's some commitment. So thanks very much for joining us on Instagram.
That's right, brother.
We got lots and lots of eager people on here. So, yeah, hope you're well, Ryan. Hope you and your family are well, and Alex as well.
Yeah, we're all chilling. Oh, look at this, bro. I can't turn around my thing here. Look how nice it is here.
I mean, it's been pretty nice here, actually. It's so weird. In the UK, when we're not in quarantine, it tends to be raining constantly. As soon as we go into quarantine, it's just like tropical paradise outside. That's the way it is.
Yeah.
So for anyone who doesn't know Ryan, and I mean, this is literally the very few that are watching this, Ryan is an absolute action sports legend, rides for Nitro Circus. He rides scooter and BMX professionally on an insane level, inventor of many world records, and of course, the owner of the action sports complex, R. Willy Land. Should we just crack on and talk about R. Willy Land for a start?
Yeah, sure.
So you're kind of quarantining there, so probably the best place in the world right now to be quarantining with a mega ramp in your back garden, so to speak.
Yeah, it's awesome. Obviously, I have Matisse and Donovan out there. They're Switzerland pro scooter riders, and they got stuck in Australia, so they couldn't go home. The government won't let them go home to Switzerland, so they had nowhere to live. So I let them live at our Willy Land. So they've been out there, so they've been able to help me set up the ramp and stuff like that. And obviously, I have my dad out there, so I have a decent amount of people to be four people total to be able to do stuff out there. So I've actually been able to set up the flat bag and ride it, but haven't got to ride the landing yet. But it's other than that, it's just been awesome to be able to learn new tricks every kind of day I go out there.
Well, I mean, I'm sure you're seeing it as well on your Instagram feed. Just everyone riding backyard kicker ramps, backyard ramps, and that, and then there's you riding over the
Yeah, it's my backyard kicker ramp, dude.
Yeah, your backyard kicker. That's it. Would you say it's the best decision you've ever made with Holding Land?
Well, wait, what do you think? Is that the best decision? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Do you think that's your best decision you ever made was to create R. Willy Land?
Yeah, I would say. I mean, it was definitely one of my biggest. I don't know. There's a lot of decisions that I've made that helped me do that. So I don't know if I could say that, but it's definitely a great decision to do that. It's been amazing.
How long have you been thinking about doing R. Willy Land as well? How long has it been? So long. Yeah.
Yeah, ever since I went to Travis Pastrana's house, probably.
Yeah, I figured you'd say that, yeah. Obviously, Pastrana Land is just like next level. And the guy himself is an absolute legend.
Yeah,
I mean,
and his is more like, but his is more like moto. So I was like, I want to make somewhere for like non-moto.
Yeah,
that was my idea, because like going to his house, you'd have like, obviously he had that one jump that was really good, and he has a skate park, and he got a pump track, which is good, but mainly his focus was like motorbikes, you know. So if you didn't ride motorbikes there, then you couldn't really ride it to its full extent and enjoy it as much as someone that did ride moto. But then I wanted to have like a place that was kind of like the opposite. So like I could ride motos around mine, it's fun, but I wanted mine to be like just all non-moto focused. So scooters can ride it, and like anything can ride it.
I was going to ask, what is next for Ollie then? Because obviously what you created is epic, but you said that you want to do more than that. What's next?
Yeah, so the landing that I have, it actually has if you've ever watched the videos, there's a normal level, and then that goes like to the high level, which is what Will Barlow tried quad to, what Brandon Schmidt did quad to, and then so there's the normal level, and then there's the wedge, and then underneath that there's another. It's not on there anymore, but it's in my shed. But there's another wedge that's even bigger than the bottom wedge. So it's like that one's 1.2 meters, the smaller one. Yeah. And then the one under that is 2 meters. So total, it's like 3.2 meters of a wedge, and it would go up to the total would go up to 8 meters, and then it would become a quarter pipe landing.
So it'd be a vert quarter, right? Vert quarter.
Yeah. So it'd be a mega. So the idea is the mega wouldn't go to vert. Like the landing would still
no. But like the kickers to take off on them would be like mega quarters, right?
Mini. I was going to go mini mega quarters, because then it's the exact same kind of height. It's like the similar height to what it actually is. Yeah. I would go full mega, because full mega is 28.5, and that's like kind of too big to just build a 2 meter wide ramp out of.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'd probably go 4 meters. I'm probably going to go 4 meters wide, and then 20 foot high.
So an insane sized quarter pipe.
So it'll be like, you know how many tricks this is unlocked for, like box jump, like it's technically a box jump. So then it's like, I wonder how many tricks it's going to open up for like an air if I do a mega quarter.
Yeah, I mean, triple flare is going to be done like that, isn't it?
Yeah, legit. Like, I think that straight away.
While the world's first, you think it's going to happen at Arwen Land in the next year? Let's say quarter and jump box.
With a quarter and jump box. I don't know, but there's been now there's been about, I think, I've updated the list, so there's about 40 world firsts that have been done so far, and it's been less than a year that I've had the jump. So I think that once I get a quarter pipe, I think we'll be doing 100 world firsts a year.
Yeah, I've got absolutely no doubt about that as well. I think that's about spot on.
But it's probably going to get a bit harder, you know?
I'm just trying to picture what... I'm trying to picture what the world's first are going to be like in 5 years' time or 10 years' time. Because even over the last 2 years, the world's first have just gone up and up and up.
Oh, I just insane.
I can't even imagine what's going to happen. It's going to just be out of hand, isn't it?
Well, the tricks that have gone down the flat bag, that people still haven't seen, it's crazy, because I have 50 tricks that I've done and haven't put on my Instagram because I want to land them to the landing before showing anyone. So it's there's so many tricks that are getting ready to get done but just haven't been done yet.
Can you give us one of them, maybe? Just a clue about one of them?
Yeah, all right, I don't know what ones to give you. I want
one of the good ones.
I don't want to give my best ones. You know how I did 720 for any T-Bog?
Yeah.
Well, the same day I did 1080 for any T-Bog. I just didn't bother doing it because it's I just wanted to get one done, and then Oh, the other day I did 4 world first in one day, but I haven't uploaded. I only uploaded a few of them. So I did the fronty kickless late whip on bike, but I also did fronty kickless to tuck on bike and fronty inward to tuck on bike, but I haven't uploaded those.
Nice.
So there you go.
How long till fronty inward whip on bike?
I suck at tail whips, but I could do it to the flat bag. I just feel like it was hard enough to do tuck, but maybe it would work because maybe it would work if I didn't you know how like Jordan does it? He like inwards and then doesn't kick the whip. So maybe it work. Maybe it'll work like that. But inward is really hard.
Well, luckily you've got arguably the best action sports complex in the world to practice in.
Yeah.
So I'm sure
I was doing double inwards on bike. Double inwards on bike. Yeah, it works. So
actually, no, I think I've seen a video of you trying one. No, you did nothing at front.
Inwards. Yeah. That was hard.
Yeah. Well, anyway, you're known for lots of things, but one of the big ones for a lot of people is Nitro Circus in general. How long have you been with Nitro Circus?
So I've been with Nitro Circus since I was 17, so that's 8 years.
Decent amount of time, Yeah. And obviously, as soon as you joined, it seems like it was as soon as you joined, you did the world's first double front flip, right?
Yeah, that was so my first show was when I did the world's first double front flip. So what happened was they flew me down, so it was through Scooter Hut, and they were doing store where they were paying a bunch of money to do a shop front out the front of the Nitro Circus. And then Nitro Circus came to them and they were like, hey, we want to test some more scooter riders because they just had Andrew Brassard in, who was the owner of Proto. And he, obviously, you know that, Terry. I'm just selling it for everyone else. But,
I know.
He's the owner of Proto, and he was in Nitro Circus already. And they just wanted to see what other riders could do. So they went to Scooter Hut and they were like, give us 3 riders to come and practice. And I happened to be one of those. And there was Mitch Baldry and Max Peters. And then so we had practice. We went to practice. My first jump, I tried a front flip the ramp. I think everyone actually did. Maybe Mitch did a back flip, but Max did a front flip and didn't even touch his wheels. Landed straight on his arm. Couldn't ride anymore. And then I did the similar thing, but I managed to roll out of it. Next day I did front tuck, and then during that practice, I hucked 2 double front flips, and everyone was watching, and they were stoked. And I crashed, but I'd never done anything like that, so I just hucked it and it worked. Yeah. And they were like, "Oh, you can do it in the show." And then the show was the next day, and then I landed it third time's a charm in the show in front of everyone.
And that's obviously one of many world's first that you've done. Yeah. You're known as Mr. World First.
But that was definitely one of my best. One of the ones that was probably a highlight because that kind of kicked off. Since that point, I was on the tour.
It kind of changed the trajectory of your life for the first, didn't it?
Yeah.
If you didn't do that double front, you would have been impressive and whatnot. But maybe they would have been nah, Scooter's on so good and didn't.
No, for sure. 100%. I reckon 100% because it was the biggest kick ever being on Nitro. That was kind of what pushed me to do to push myself way more. I mean, obviously I was doing a lot of this, I was trying my best in scootering and doing world's first all the time, but having that stage and all those people, it pushed me to try to do something new every single show because I knew that I was representing scooters. So I was I wanted to just keep every single show. I wanted to be pushing the envelope.
Yeah. And I mean, it's definitely paid off big time. So, obviously, for anyone watching right now, if you want a question to Ryan, just drop it in the comment section. I will pick out a couple. Ryan can obviously pick out a couple if you want. And we'll ask Ryan some questions from you guys. In the meantime, Nitro Circus obviously specialises in big air. Mm-hmm. Do you think we will one day need to do an ISA big air competition or something like that?
Yeah, that'd be sick. You could definitely do it. Just come do it at my house. I don't know. I think so because it's like it could potentially be. I mean, X Games has mega ramps, so it's like if we're like templating off what we kind of want for our sport, of what kind of. I'm not saying like we want exactly X Games for our sport, but it's if we want like all the disciplines, street, park, and mega, then that's like kind of what they do. So we should probably have it because it is a thing in itself. It's kind of just like a best trick contest. So
when you get to it's like next level, isn't it? But it is.
But I have a feeling that in scootering, there's nearly every single pro rider could probably ride. They could definitely ride my jump, and they could definitely do like unique tricks. So it's pretty cool. I think that a mega ramp contest or my style like jump contest would be crazy to see what everyone could do. Even if I had just like 1 week at my house, it's crazy. That's actually been my favorite part about our Witherland is the fact that I get to see so many people that they come from not even like jumping the mega ramp to yesterday. Donovan did a quad backflip, like just the random kid that's standing at my house. He did a quad backflip. It's crazy.
Because for anyone who doesn't know, obviously a regular mega ramp has like a giant gap. It's like a mellow takeoff, giant gap. It's all about the gap and getting a massive air across it. Whereas yours is all about going that way, isn't it? It's like the gap's not so big.
So the mega ramp, like the X Games mega ramp, it's like 2 bank-to-bank jumps. So if you've ever jumped and tailed out of a bank, it's like literally a bank to a bank, but you're going so fast that you get like a decent amount of time in the air. And that's why it's called a mega ramp. And then it still goes into like obviously the quarter, which is if I had to pick anything that was the mega ramp, it's the quarter that's probably the most mega ramp.
Yeah. I just had a good question in here. I'm just going to scroll up. Kurt Sutton says, "Why doesn't Ryan compete in Worlds?" Obviously, I know the answer to this, but you crack on, right?
Is it because I said no?
That was my
once upon a time, there was epic battles at Worlds for myself and Dakota. But so what happened in my first Worlds, the first ever Worlds, I'm pretty sure.
2012, first ever World Championships.
Yeah, I think I qualified. I was like really high in qualifying, either second or first in qualifying, and then probably second. But I was like doing a certain run. I had a certain run that I was doing. And it was a really weird format on the first Worlds. I think it was like we only ended up doing 1 run or something. We could only do 1 run in the finals. And I was like, do I want to do a 720 over the box and potentially not win, like come second? Or do I want to 1080 the box and come first? And I was like, I want a 1080 the box. And that's what I tried, and I crashed the 1080. So it was like, it was either make it or break it. And I think I would have done pretty well. I think I would have done pretty well if I did the 1080. I might have won. But I just chose to do that because I knew that like that's what I had to do to come first. And if you're not first, you lost.
Exactly. If you're not first, you lost.
But I kind of.
But you ended up winning best trick, didn't you? You ended up winning best trick at the first ever world final.
And I think that's what. And I think that's what kind of like made me decide that I like prefer that kind of. Being that side of things, like I like contests and I like being at them because I like meeting, it's like seeing everyone. That's basically the best thing about them. But I just have not been one to have like the consistent style where I could go out and like you're not dumbing yourself down, but you're like you're doing the tricks that you can land, and that's what you kind of go for. Which is like insane, and props to everyone that like kills it at that.
That style of riding is like next level in itself, isn't it? But I'm the same as you. I relate. Big trick, world's first. For me, it's all about the chase. Trying a trick, 10 tries, 20 tries, 100 tries, doesn't matter. You finally land it, and that's the big ass style.
I agree that like the way competition riders ride is like probably the hardest way to ride. But I prefer like the big trick and like who you want to be the person that people remember their name when you like leave the place. And that was like one thing that I got told when I went to the first Worlds, and I was like, I mean, doing the world, like people aren't gonna like people probably might remember who won, but I think more people will remember the double flare than who won. So that's like kind of where my head was at. Like, I think that I'm glad I chose that path because I think that if I tried to focus too much on competitions, then I wouldn't have done all the other things I've ever done.
Agree. But
in saying that, I won X Games and Nitro World Games, but that's kind of like a different story. That's kind of like my
still like kind of
like
best tricky, isn't it? Yeah. That style definitely works for you 100%, and I think for some riders that works, for other riders it doesn't. I mean, Dakota, for example, absolutely annihilated park competitions for years.
Yeah.
You know, 3 times ISA World Champion. And then he went to Nitro and he struggled quite a bit, and it wasn't his style. It wasn't his style, and it was quite evident, wasn't it? But anyway, let's move on from that. Let's get another question here. So Andrew 4528, nice generic question. What made you start doing tricks on a scooter?
Well, I think tricks actually made me start riding scooters as well. So I kind of just I was never like rolling around on one when I first started. Okay. It was just I used to rollerblade when I was probably 8 years old to when I was 12 years old, and that was kind of just like because that's what I had, and my mum threw me down the skate park, and that's what I had. So I kind of got into rollerblading, but then no one else rollerbladed. All my mates rode scooters. So it's
then no different anymore. It's still like that.
Yeah. So I would find myself going to the skate park. Shout out to Kevin Perazzi, he's in here.
Yeah, I just saw that as well. Shout out to the GOAT.
I would find myself going to the skate park and on my rollerblades, and obviously I wouldn't take shoes because I have rollerblades, and I would have to borrow my friends' shoes and their scooter to be able to ride with them. And that's like what I did for so long, probably about 6 months or so. And then I got my own scooter and, just started riding with all my mates. Because that's what I found was like my favourite part was just being with my mates. And whatever they rode, I would ride.
What year was that, roughly? Because you were like second generation scooter rider, weren't you?
Well, I was 12, so it was a long time ago. It was...
Back when TVs were black and white.
So it was 18 years ago, right?
Sounds like too long ago, but is that right? How old are you now?
Yeah,
I'm
25.
Your math is bad.
13 years. Sorry, my bad. I added 5 for some reason.
Yeah.
I added 5 for some reason. I don't know why.
I've been riding for 20 years. I was like, you couldn't have been riding for 18 years.
my math is bad because it's 6:30 in the morning.
Well, I tell you what, actually, that brings me on to a question, or even just a statement that I just saw a lot of kids, and I'm sure you do as well. Advice to riders who want to become like an action sports star like yourself. I obviously say about education. I think it's really important. Yeah. What's your opinion on that side of things?
Of education?
Yeah, because like I think a lot of kids think that they can just huck a few flips and whatnot, and they're instantly going to be a millionaire.
That's a bad idea.
Exactly.
You could be the best rider and still have no money, I think. But
exactly.
I would say, like, I finished school and I got an OP, which is, I don't know what the equivalent is around the world, but it's like where you finish high school totally, grade 12, and then they give you like a score because I did like the harder subjects so that I could get into university and like it's like if you have a higher OP, you're more likely to get picked for whatever you choose to do. So I'm not sure what that equivalent is, but I did that and like got in and got a like above average one, and then I was just doing Nitro, so I deferred actually from university. I was going to go to university to be a civil engineer. I got accepted, but I was like, why, like, I may as well. I was actually doing Nitro Circus shows when I was in school still, so I was like, how about I defer, which is where you like put it off for like a year, but you still accept it, and then you can go back and do it. But I just never went back and did it.
You're just gonna go rock up there in like 15 years' time, just like, right, I'm ready to go back. When the money drive from BMX and stuff, like, I'm here, I deferred, I'm ready to go.
Yeah, I'm back. Can I come back in?
So I guess for kids, like, it's just important to have an education, though. And I know for a fact, like, there are riders out there that are incredible riders, but they can't string a sentence together. They certainly don't know anything about business, and they come and go in no time whatsoever. And,
kids have got to realize like that. Even any like action sport like that, it's not all just about like how good your riding is. You can be the best rider in the world, and it's weird. Like it took me a while to like figure it out, but I was always just kind of like doing my own thing anyway, and it was kind of the right path. But you can't just be the best rider. Like if you do all these worlds first, if you win all these contests and you don't have a face or like a personality to go with it, then people really aren't going to like watch your stuff. And it's like, I don't know, it's a good example is like there's people that aren't like the best riders in the world and they still like connect with people, and that's why they're high up and they're still sponsored. And like that's why some kids are like, why is this guy sponsored? He's not as good as this guy, or why is this person sponsored and I'm not sponsored? It's just how you put yourself out there and what kind of personality you have, and having an education and being smarter is always going to take you further anywhere in life. So that's why it's so important that you just put in the hard yards when you're young in school and get it done and get a good education, and then you can use that everywhere in your whole life. So that's why it's so important to do it.
Yeah, 100%. So that's education. One that you obviously do a lot is your health. You know, I see that you get hooked up by Mike Spinner, right? What's his company?
It's EVL.
EVL. Yeah. And go on, tell us more.
Yeah, I would say that like I've been trying more to focus on my health, and like before this virus stuff, I was actually going to the gym for the first time to like, not the first time ever, but for the first time to just focus on recovery and strengthening myself for like longevity, like making myself so if I fall over, I'm less likely to get hurt because I've been doing these exercises. Yeah. So I actually just started doing that before this virus happened, and then I just was starting to do that because I looked around me at Nitro Circus and all the absolute best riders, all the best moto guys, they're all jacked. Like they're all going to the gym. They're all just 100% committed to their schedule and working out and focusing on their body. Because I mean, it's like when you fix your scooter, you know, maybe you dial your scooter like every week or so, maybe every month, or maybe you never do it. But it's like the same thing with your body. Break, isn't it? It's like the same thing with your body. It's like you're kind of like riding your body. You know, you're using your body, so you want to tighten it up.
You want to make sure you've got the best possible components to ride. You know, like gotta make sure they're strong, and flexible, and
personally, I know that I'm slack with that, so I've been trying to I'm trying to be like to get on top of it, because it only gets worse. Trust me, when you're 18 years old, you can do all these things and fall over and bounce back up. But the older you get, every year, the harder it is to get back up and try again. And that's like kind of what I'm all about, because all the tricks I ever do, I don't usually land in first try anymore. You know, it takes me like 20 tries, and I want to make sure that I can do those 20 tries to be able to land it.
Yeah. So we've been talking about scooters a lot, obviously. Nowadays, you're near enough 50-50, aren't you, scooter and BMX?
Yeah, I would say...
what's your plan for the BMX side of things? You know? Is it all X Games? Is it Nitro Circus? Is it Road Drugs? Tell us more.
Yeah, I don't know. I just go what I feel. Like, I always am riding both my scooter and BMX. Like, there's not a day that I don't take both to the skate park now. And But on my mega ramp, it's definitely 50-50. But at the skate park, I definitely still ride scooter way more. Just because I feel more comfortable, and my going to the skate park now is kind of just, it's just real fun, you know, because I don't really focus on doing the world competition, so I'm not really training ever, or I'm not really like redoing tricks hundreds of times to make sure I got them dialed. I kind of just go there and I'm like, what could I film for Instagram today, just to show like the people that follow me. So when I go to the skate park, I mainly just ride scooter because it's like super chill and super like I feel more comfortable on a scooter. So that's why I ride a scooter there. And then on BMX, I am just, it's kind of fun in a way though, because on BMX, I'm a little bit more scared to do tricks that would be really easy on a scooter. So I get a little bit more satisfaction out of doing something new on a bike at the skate park because I'm not used to it. You know, it's like kind of new. And it's the same thing when I like jump on a skateboard. If I jumped on a skateboard and I jumped the spine, I would be way more stoked than anything else because I know that I've never done it and it's hard.
It's just getting that thrill out of like scaring yourself, isn't it?
Yeah, and still learn
the adrenaline out of it.
Yeah,
I definitely understand that. What would you say is like the biggest trick that you've done on BMX?
On BMX, I mean, it depends. Like, I would say the triple front flip was.
It's kind of right
Triple front flip at Travis's was like, it's hard to tell now because I haven't done triple fronting for a long time, but I think that maybe 720 doll backy is probably now the hardest trick I've done on bike. Because it's like, it's more rotations. It's four rotations.
So technically difficult as well, isn't it? Like, even just a
there's so many moving parts. It's like you're trying to time everything. It does help that it's two flips and two spins all at the same time.
Yeah, so it's like, quite equal, but I mean,
when I worked it out, it was good. When I worked it out and how it works, it was good. When I was just hucking and going like backflip to 720 backflip or backflip to 720 to backflip, like
that was like
but now,
home, wasn't it?
Now I just do 3 flip to 3 flip. It's like a little bit easier. So I guess I don't know. It's hard to pick, but I think I'm going to go with 720 double back. It was my hardest on BMX.
And what would be the next then if if progression tells us anything, it would be adding another flip or adding another spin into that trick?
Yeah, so my, I probably wouldn't do 720. I'd probably trade off a spin for a flip. So I'd do 360 triple flip.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Right, well.
And I was going to mention it. And you know how you asked me before, like some of the tricks that I had done? Yeah, that's it.
Oh, right, nice. So we got a little revealer right there. Lovely. All right, so that's BMX.
Mm-hmm.
What for scooters? What's a trick that you'd like to get in the future? Obviously, you've got loads of people doing.
So I would probably do the trick that I just said, but I would do that on scooter first because it's a lot easier on scooter, and I can do it like every try on scooter, but I just haven't done it to the landing. But I can tell you my hardest trick on scooter was probably 1440 fronting.
Yeah,
I think that was probably one of my hardest, just because I think it's 5 rotations. 5 rotations in one corner.
Just no visibility, I guess. I imagine you can just get visibility right at the last second, is it? Or?
You get feel. It's like if you close your eyes and you standing on ground, like flat ground, you can like do a 360 and stop kind of like where it's a 360 would be, you know. And I feel like you could do it you could do a 1080 on flat, just like standing and closing your eyes, and you could probably stop pretty close to dead on. Yeah. But obviously, the more spins you do, the more off it's going to be. But you're not seeing, you're feeling. You know, you're feeling where you are at the spin. And so what I do when I do it is like I get more information from the feel while I'm spinning.
Then
but
from the surroundings.
I can still see kind of, but not very well. But I get more from the feel. So I get more from the feel, and then as soon as I stop, I can see perfect, and that's where you see me open up and come in. So that's how
I agree as well. For a lot of tricks, especially multiple flips or anything like that, it's a lot of feel.
It's like it's like a 5 flare. The best way to do it. I don't know if other people do it different ways, but the best way to do it is kind of like you huck like a flare, but you give it that spin, and you don't really see for that second. You don't see for that really fast 360 because you're 360 so fast. And then when you open
it comes round, and you're just like, right, okay, here we are.
That's when you see a lot. Yeah, you're like, am I in the right spot?
So for anyone who's just tuned in, by the way, or has no idea what's going on, feel free to drop some questions in the comment section for Ryan. We've got the legend Ryan Williams here, of course, doing a nice interview with the International Scooter Association. And let's go back to the ISA, actually, on that note. What's your opinion on the direction that we're going with the ISA? And obviously we've teamed up with Action Space. What's your opinion on did you see the Action Space Invitational, for example?
Yeah, no, I love it all. I mean, anything that is like just pushing scooters and like helping scooters be more legitimate is awesome. And that's actually one of the things that like really stoked me out when the ISA first was around and like they were doing worlds was the guys on Nitro Circus, like the BMX guys were like, where is that for us? Because they back in the day they didn't have it. They didn't really have anything like that at all. They only really got it because of the Olympics. Like now they're full into it. Whatever they're probably doing, they're doing it really like smart, and they have the feast contest.
It took a while.
Like that, but we would before even maybe they did it a long time ago, but I didn't know about it. But they weren't doing anything like what we were doing, like having these contests in Australia to get to the Australian titles, and then from there you get to go to the worlds. Like when I told BMXers on Nitro Circus about that, they were like mind blown. They were like, "What you have that? That is like that's way more legitimate than what BMX is doing." Because BMX was kind of like not doing anything like that back then. So I think
you summed it up perfectly as well. Legitimate. That's the point, isn't it? I mean, there's a lot of competitions. There's been so many competitions where it's just invite the big name riders and then have it out. And obviously the little guys who might not be that well known on social media or around the industry don't get a look in, and that's the obvious issue with that way of doing it. And I believe like the way we have it with ISA is pretty spot on. You've got to earn your spot in the ISA Worlds. You've got to prove it here, there, and then there, and that's what I guess legitimizes the ISA World Final and the World Championship as a whole.
And that's awesome that like it's open to anyone. And that was like one thing that was sucky about X Games was like even though when the Mega Rank contest, like that's why I was like I could do this. Like I could go. I knew I could do it, and I knew I could like go and maybe win. Like I was like convinced. I'm like, and the funny thing is the first run that I won with, like the nothing front bike flip to front flare at Australia X Games, that run I could have done that. Like I believe that I could have done that 4 or 5 years ago before I even did it. Like that was like 100%. What I was planning on doing when I went there. I was always planning on doing a front flare, but I didn't have that chance because you have to like prove it, which I understood because I never thought I like was taking someone else's spot. I always thought they're just not putting me in. But the thing was, they had a set amount of riders, and if they were going to put me in, then that was someone else's spot that I was taking away, and I hadn't proved that I could do it. So I understood in the end. But that's what's so awesome about ISA is that it's like if you put in the effort and you have the talent, then you will make it. Like you can do it. So that's such an awesome thing to see, and it legitimizes it not only within our sport and for our sport. It's like if you told someone that there's like an Australian titles and then a world titles for scootering, that in itself, like
is
people
awesome.
go, wow, that's legit.
Yeah.
Like if you told me,
win that.
There's a pogo stick. There's 8 to 10 different pogo stick contests in all of Australia to get yourself to the title, the world. I mean, the Australian pogo titles, and then you go to the world titles where everyone else
is like, what?
I was like, wow, damn it! It's like pogo stick is legit.
So I guess my next question would be, what could we do as the ISA to develop the sport more? And I guess obviously by default it's the competition side, but I'm asking it as just a general question for scooters in general. What do you think we could do to develop it more, legitimize it more, just make it bigger, bring more people in, etc., etc.?
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard to say, but it's like there's like maybe two different things. It's like either have it attached, like have more events attached to big events, like like say the Australian titles. If there was an Australian titles and if there's like a big event on, if we had the Australian titles at that event, like how Worlds was at Extreme Barcelona.
And it was like part of like a festival in a sense.
Yeah, and that's why you get massive crowds. But I think that you could get massive crowds even if you did it at any other, like if the USA titles, like the world titles of the USA was held at some kind of event, if the Australian titles were held at some kind of event, not just the worlds.
More
but like that's one way that might like blow it up a bit more and more people would see it. Or the other one is try to work out some way to get like it televised more, so like more people see it, and then more people, maybe more companies advertise in it. Maybe if it's more televised, then maybe we'll get more sponsors within scootering, and that'll help more riders and make it easier for riders to make it to places because they might be getting sponsored by like bigger brands that can take them there.
Obviously, you've seen that we're doing the world final this year at the Copper Box Arena in London. I assume you've seen that. Yeah. So we've got like our own arena. We're gonna have our own purpose-built skate park. Obviously, that was scheduled to be in July, and fingers crossed this whole coronavirus situation sorts itself out, and we can run it at the end of the year. That's the plan, of course. But what do you think about the idea of having it in like an arena? It's a big arena. We've got like a purpose-built skate park.
Yeah,
I mean, thousands of people come in.
I think that I think that for the world championship, that's like a no-brainer. I think you have to have it like that. You can't. You have to have a purpose-built skate park and a purpose-built area, like a event for the worlds. You want to have the worlds as the big show, like with everything dialed.
And Action Space certainly know how to do that. If you saw the Action Space Invitational, it was like
I heard about it. I didn't like obviously I seen the footage and heard about it because I think I went to I was around. I did some event after. Yeah, I was at some event after that, and everyone was talking about it. So I did hear a lot about it.
The way I saw it from just like as an outsider, obviously I was judging there, but like the way I saw it was like every other scooter competition was like this level, and then Action Space were just like that. They just come in and they just did everything right. Like absolutely every single little detail they had it tipped up, covered, and they just like the media coverage alone from the Action Space Invitational was absolutely huge. Like they did them like video edit. They did a video edit for every single rider, gave them to the riders, and the riders were like, "Oh, that's sick! I've never had anything like this."
Yeah, that's right.
Obviously, the social media.
You need people like that to come set the new like standard. Because if people see that and they realize how well it does and how much the riders love it, because that's the one thing that like you really want to get is you want to get like the riders behind it, because the more riders that are behind it, the more they push it, and the more stoked they are on it, the more they push it, and then it kind of just like grows on itself. It's kind of like where Nitro Circus started aiming now. Instead of like going, look at here's Nitro Circus, look at Nitro Circus, look how great Nitro Circus is. They've started doing like, look how good Ethan Roberts is. Like, look how good Ethan Roberts is. Look how good Jed Milden is. Look how good all these guys are, and they're like focusing on.
You want to see that guy?
Because then it's like people can relate with athletes more than they can a brand. So it's like if you make and if you can make superstars out of like the riders, then they're going to bring in their own people. It's just like UFC. That's why the UFC is like huge. Not only is it a great, like, obviously the UFC is an amazing brand, but what the thing is, they have like these superstars, and people love each different superstar, and then they bring when they fight, they bring all their fans, and when the other person fights, they bring all their fans, and then it's just like a congregation of everyone's fans.
Even down to like Dana White and Joe Rogan, like they're legends in themselves as well. They're not even fighting.
Yeah,
you know?
It's like people will probably come just to see Joe Rogan, like at the back of his head commentating.
Yeah, no, 100%.
So it's like if we could have stuff like that, like if we could, like it's like if we had Tanner Fox at a contest, it's going to pull so many more. It's going to pull so many people to come to the contest, even though he probably won't win. It's just like the same thing for me. It's like if I go to a contest, people might come just to see me, like hang out and ride the contest, but I'm probably not going to win. You know?
Yeah.
Still good to have a lot of people there hanging out.
Phil, obviously, president of the ISA, Phil Grice, he's a massive UFC fan. You're a big UFC fan as well. Just a quick one. Who's your favourite UFC fighter and why?
Oh, my favourite?
Yeah.
Max Holloway. Because he's like super chill dude and follows me on Instagram.
Yeah, fair play.
And he streams video games, which is cool.
Nice.
And I like the way he fights too, so there you go, Max Holloway.
Yeah. Fair play. So, just for anyone who's watching, we've got 10 minutes left of this live stream. Obviously, Instagram limits it to an hour, and obviously Ryan probably wants to get back to sleep or get some breakfast or whatever. So, just one more reminder, guys, if you want any specific questions, I'm going to do some like quick fire questions with Ryan. So we're going to do quick fire question and answer. Just drop them in the comment section now, guys. We'll pick out the best ones and we'll go from there, guys. We've got the legend Ryan Williams, so do not miss it. What's your middle name, Ryan? It says King B.
Anthony Lee.
Oh, they're coming in quick. All right, King B says, what's your middle name?
Anthony Lee. It's like
Anthony
two.
Lee,
so Ryan Anthony Lee Williams.
There we go. Nice. All right, next question. Oh, they're coming in really quick now. Remember the Harley show? I don't know what he's referring to.
I think I know. It was at the front of the Harley Davidson thing. We did like a show with Micah and stuff. It was good. It was fun. Yes, I remember it.
Fair play. All right, next one. Come on, guys. More questions. I'm seeing lots of waves and stuff. MGP World Tour. I don't even remember that. Are you sure? Can you get the old Mad Gear team out? Someone said. Oh, they were the days. Man. That's a good question, actually. What was your favourite MGP tour?
The East Coast tour, 100%.
Yeah, that was like the first one. Was it?
Yeah, that was like back when Cody did like the stall to down whip and ramp fest, and like you remember the video. If you seen it, you'd be like, oh.
No, I know. Big time, yeah. Someone said, "What's your favourite fast food?"
KFC at the moment.
KFC. Okay, fair enough. What's your dream supercar?
R8.
Yeah, Audi R8. Are you gonna get one?
Yeah, or the new i8, the BMW i8.
Oh, now we're talking. Yeah, that's better. Okay. Would you ever come to Denmark? I mean, I've been. What about you?
Yeah, I think I've been to Denmark a few times. We have Nitro Circus. We might even have one. Like we might have had one scheduled. I don't know.
Someone said, "Have you ever crashed a car?" That's a good question.
Not like a big crash, but I've reversed into my ex-girlfriend's truck. Ex-girlfriend's dad's truck.
Oh, good effort. Was that on purpose? Yeah, just
Definitely wasn't.
Whoops. Well, she knows now. Someone said, how is the coronavirus situation in Australia at the moment?
So right now we have to isolate, and you can only go like to the shops, like the shopping centre to get like food and stuff you need, and it's a limit of like 2 people, I guess. So you can have like one friend over or 2. Like you can only congregate on a group of 2. So if you can meet someone out, but only one person.
Oh, really? So can you meet like a stranger, for example, like someone else? And meet up,
no. So it's like you only close friends. It's like if you want to meet your close friend and go for a jog, you can do that kind of.
Oh wow! Okay, so we're not allowed to do that in the UK, but
okay, yeah. I think I'm probably wrong, but I haven't done that. I've only just been. I got Luke Bell and stay at my house at the moment, like he's living here. So basically, I've had 2 people in my car. I think if you have like more than 2 people in your car, you can get fined like $1,300. So
Very
hectic.
Someone said, what was your favourite edit that you ever filmed?
Hard. Well, Web Edit 3, that's probably the one I put the most effort in. But I really like Tech Edit. Everyone really seemed to like Tech Edit.
Yeah.
Tech Edit as well. And everyone wants Tech Edit too, so maybe one day.
One day. If you're not watched up by then.
Already watched up.
Right. Lots of people just saying hello in general. Hello,
everybody. Heaps of people just came in all of a sudden. We got like a jump in 50 people. Shout out to all the skate parks. They said, what's that? You go.
An obvious question. Have you ever broke a bone on a scooter or BMX? Even better, a better question. What was the worst break? How about that? Because I know you've broken bones.
I've never. Well, what do you like? A fractured bones? Do you count that as breaking bones?
Yeah. Fracture the break. Yeah. So
but it doesn't like come apart. I've never needed surgery ever.
No, I'm the same actually. I'm the same. Like, I've done like ribs and feet.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So, but happens, isn't it? Part and parcel of it.
Yeah. But the worst one would probably be. I don't know. Separated my. It's not even that bad. Smashing my teeth out is probably worse than breaking bones.
Oh, yeah. Do you remember when I did my nose? In
Yeah. Is it Lynn's?
Yeah, it's still got like. Yeah.
I reckon I must have done my nose has. I have a weird bone on one side of my nose. I must have my nose.
So mine, if you run your finger along there, you can like really feel it on this side. I forgot how to tell you there. There we go. Yeah, well, happens, doesn't it? How big is our Willy Land? Because everyone always just sees the driveway and the takeoff, but they don't know that there's loads more, isn't it? How much bigger is it? Like, what percentage of it is what people are seeing at the moment? Tell us.
So you probably people probably see about maybe I would say between 10 and 20%, because obviously my driveway here and the two houses and the sheds. But it's 40 acres, so I'm not sure. So it's in perspective, my house is 150 times smaller than it. So 100. Yeah. The land I own at our Willy Land is 150 times what I have in my house.
That's crazy. And obviously, I think what's awesome about our Willy Land, or like your specific setup, is that you don't have like a roll-in per se, do you? You don't have like a roll-in. It's a driveway. Driveway, essentially. And what I think is cool about that is obviously you can just be hanging out with your friends at the top, and then you'll be talking about I imagine this is how it goes down. Yeah, talking about new tricks. Yeah, actually, I'm up for trying that. Oh, let's go, and just straight down.
That is our Willy Land to a T. That's literally what happens every single time we ride.
I imagine that really helps the vibe, right? Like big time.
Oh, it's so good. It's the best thing ever. It's literally the best. It's my that's why I made it. Because I knew what it was going to be like, and it was my dream. And then that's why I just took the step and did it. And I'm so glad I did.
I personally think it's just like the best decision you've made lots of great decisions, but like for scooters and BMX, the progression that we've seen out of our Willy Land, I feel like the sports owe you big time for just single-handedly making our Willy Land one. Yeah, like just keep on doing what you're doing, man, because we definitely appreciate it. Like the scooter community and the BMX community, everyone just appreciates it so much. It's awesome.
Yeah, well, I get my kicks out of seeing people land new tricks. It's almost like I'm landing it with them. That's how stoked I get, because it's and some of the tricks, I'm just stoked with some of the variety of tricks. You know, it hasn't been like, oh, just another bar spin in a flip. It's been the tricks that I've seen done are insane, like Zach Chappell's tricks. I can't even name them. There's so many that
name them. They're just insane, aren't they? Yeah.
I've seen Zach Chappell do tricks in backflips that I've never even seen people do upright.
Yeah. So just a quick one, guys. We've only got 5 more minutes left of this live stream, and I mean that because literally Instagram will just do a countdown and cut it off. Yeah. So
is that what happens?
Thank you. Have you never done a live stream that lasts more than an hour? It just shows a countdown. I think it's about 20 seconds it gives you, or 30 seconds. And
Yeah.
I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, wait, there's a countdown. What's going on? It just cuts off. So, obviously, I just want to say now, before anyone cuts off, thank you, everyone, for tuning in and watching this. We've had a very steady stream of viewers, so everyone must have been very tuned in. And obviously, a massive thank you to you as well, Ryan, for up at literally 6 a.m. to do this. It's amazing.
Make sure you all go check out my new YouTube video. That's what I want you to do after this, because it just dropped as we started the live.
Yeah, it's dropped at 6, right? Because you were like, I'm going to be like a minute late, so I need to do that. Yeah, sweet. I'll check it out. I'm still a massive fan, of course, as well. I've known.
And Terry, I have people messaging me, Terry, to say hello to you, so be stoked on that. This guy Kevin, I'm getting messages from this guy Kevin. He's like, tell Terry that I said hi.
Nice. For anyone who doesn't know, of course, Ryan and I, even though we're on the other side of the world, we were very much together for our entire scooter career. Like, we were both on Mag Gear. You're the first rider on Mag Gear, weren't you? The first rider on Mag Gear UK. And we've had some crazy times together, and it's great.
So sick.
We're still friends to this day as well, and massive inspiration for each other, I believe, as well. Yeah. But, I think we'll wrap it up there. We've got 3 more minutes. But, Ryan, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on here. And everyone else, thank you so much for tuning in. One quick question for you, Ryan.
Yep.
We're doing it weekly at the moment, obviously, because of the COVID-19 situation. Who do you think we should get in next week? Any suggestions?
Tell me, who have you done? I seen you do Jordan.
Yeah, just Jordan and you. Obviously.
Okay, cool. All right.
And anyone else right now, drop in the comments right now who you want to see on the live stream next week. I want to have a little look. And
I want to think. Let me. I just want to think.
Yeah, you have a look at some comments as well. We've literally got 2 minutes now, though, guys.
Cody Donovan.
Cody Donovan. I like that. Of course, there's John Marco, the current world finalist. We got front row. Travis Pastrana. I'm not sure Travis would come in, but
it would be cool to get someone else though and talk about scootering like what they think.
Someone said Raymond Warner. That's another good one. I like that. Really good Dylan Morris. Okay, guys. Well, I promise we'll get someone good next week. Definitely better than this washed up guy, Ryan Williams. Yeah. Obviously kidding. This guy's an absolute acting sports legend. And we'll call it there. Thank you very much, Ryan. You've been absolutely amazing. And have a great day, mate. It's only 7 a.m. for you. Maybe go back.
Yeah, no worries, man. Keep enjoying your room, and I'll go ride our wheel land real quick. So
yeah, sounds good. Yeah. All right, man. Take care. I'll say goodbye to you first, Ryan. Okay, and then I'll say bye to everyone else. Okay, take care, Ryan.
See ya.
Bye. And everyone else, thank you so much for tuning in. Honestly, you guys have been amazing. The numbers have been incredible. Thank you very much. We're going to be live again this time next week, and I promise we'll get someone good in here again to be interviewing. So thank you very much, guys, and take care. Stay safe.